Hello and welcome to Dario Comics. I want to teach you how to make your comics or assist you on your journey. And this video is about storytelling. Storytelling in a nutshell. I have a couple of movies and a couple of books. I want to keep it simple. I have my own comics here and let's get it on. So, storytelling in comics, you want to tell your own story. So what's important? Well, if you're watching this, I guess you already know about storytelling. I'm just here to give you some guidance on how to do it. There is a way you can go full berserk and go writing formula and do this, or you can feel it out a bit and just get a bit moody, like this guy here in Barbarian Lord, and just see where it goes. And I will tell you how I would do it as a beginner and how I did it. I can give you advice. These are two good books. The one is John Truby, Anatomy of Storytelling. I found this when I was watching the channel, how is it called? Lessons from a Screenplay. That's the channel. I will link down the books, link down the Lessons from a Screenplay. And John Truby is really good because there are many books, but he gives you like the structure, the themes, the things you need, what a hero, like, let's say in this for instance, this is my comic, this guy, which was me, this is fictionalized, but he wants a girl. That's the outside goal. And when he starts out, or in each good high school movie, but there's always an outside goal, and then there's a theme, and the theme might be like, this is a love sci-fi conspiracy comic, but the theme is about growth and responsibility, like owning up to yourself and like becoming your true self. But you see, you have always the external thing and then the internal thing, and this will give you great advice. You can watch it or watch a review. I recommend this book. It's really good. You don't have to take everything as gospel, but it's a great advice. Then the second book is Robert McKee and Story. A really thick book, but also a good book. And what both books take away is that when you start here, like the classical hero's journey, you start here. And you have a guy, and like Neo in the Matrix, like at the beginning he's a nerd, but he's a wimp, and he doesn't know what he's capable of. And then, like, you have a story, and it begins here, and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes really low, and then at the end he's the chosen one, and he becomes Neo. Like, that's a classical arc. For Spartacus, pretty much the same. He's a slave. He starts down here. He gets a bit up. He gets even worse. He becomes a gladiator, like the movie Gladiator. Like, he starts here. He's already low, and it gets even lower. And then he becomes the man who wants to be free and free his people, like Gladiator, Braveheart. This is a movie about someone who wants to become a musician. Same story here. He's a wimp. He has talent. He wants to go somewhere. He's a mentor. Like, look at this. Movie's always almost the same. Like, he's like Morpheus, and here's the girl. Like, you see, you this is what you need to cook. And then you got another movie, classic. You got the nerd. He wants to save the world, but he's like a Luke Skywalker. He's the Obi-Wan. He's the Vader. But this movie is good because Ed Harris, like, he's not the evil guy. He tries, like, yeah. And so you see, you can do like you feel. You can do the story like you feel you want to do it. And I will show you something. Like I have these little books which I put in my ideas, little scribbles, like art is magic, art is truth, like something like this. And here I write down where my story is going. You see, this is what I write down, and then I can see where the story goes. And I have other books, like, let's see, this is very important because in things like this you can sketch out the story. Like, look at this. Now let's get to the meat, because when you start out you can make a full comic like these ones are 24 pages both, but I started out with 8 pages because Mobius and Jean Giraud said make a small comic or make just 1 page and then see if you can make 2 pages, 8 pages, and this is 8 pages. And this is a horror western movie. Like this guy, his name is Kioma, he comes back from the war, he comes back to his town. This church I stole from Diablo 1, so he comes back, he gets his gun, he sees George, his old slave friend, and this is in German, but he got out of the church, you see here, and then he tells him that the padre, the priests, led him to the Comanche, and that the Comanche, he said they were responsible for the pox, but yeah, they were wrong, and so they slayed women and children, and now the someone is taking revenge, and yeah, and then he goes into the church, and as you see here, this was page 1, like the destroyed town. He comes to town, George, then you see elements. He grabs the gun, the blood, like really basic. And then he goes in. Like, look how they match up. Or like this, almost the same. So it's good to lay out. I don't write things down because, like, I don't know, I'm more visually, so it's not really about writing. And as you see, like, then he enters the church, blood drips, he goes down to the church, he sees some things, the blood spills, and then boom, we're there. And all these pictures, like, I have written nothing. This is show, don't tell. Sometimes I suck with this, but this times I nailed it. And then already for the next picture we see there's some action coming, there's blood dripping on him, and then he sees the padre nailed to the cross, and he says, this I stole from Sin City, from the preacher there. He says like something like, we didn't ate only their bodies, we ate also their souls. And then you see this. I don't know where I got this from. I stole a lot of this thing from other comics because it was my really first, so I didn't really know how to do it, but I wouldn't say steal because, like, you can see I laid this all out here, but it's really Mignola-esque, and it's really like, you see blood dripping was on his hand, but this was all in there. And then his turning and him seeing the preacher nailed to the cross, it's all in there. And then the head flying, and then the head flies, and we can see the padre gets picked up by something and he reacts, and every page is like a punchline. Like, you start here upside, you don't know what's going on, then you get a little bit explanation, a little bit of action, and then boom, this page is over. And this is page 3. Then we got the next page, and as you can see, he then transforms to a werewolf, and then he shoots him, but the werewolf fucks him up, and so he's pretty, yeah, I don't know what to say. And look at this, like also then how you put it together is pretty much done. Then there comes an arrow assistance from another one, like he's like a shaman and she's from his tribe. She's there to take also the revenge, and then this thing jumps and gets her, and while he's laying and watching, he grabs his sword or his knife, his bullets, and nails these bullets to this werewolf. And then the werewolf's not the best drawing, but the best I could do at that point. And then you see him, he lies there, here are the bullets, but there are key story components here. And then you see he's pretty much on his knees, he doesn't know what he should do, his fingers are all mangled up, here's the gun, he takes it, the gun's shaking, this thing is above him, and then he turns and shoots. I stole this, I guess, from a movie, or I don't know. But yeah, he hits the bullets, the werewolf explodes and screams. And then this is the end, 8 pages. A huge hole, you see him here in the shadow. The eye line, we come from here to here, and we see the shaman has something here. He sees this. His head is a bit too high, but yeah. Then he grabs the diamond that sticks here, and then he watches it. And this I stole from Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, and then and he puts it in his, like, it's a curse, I don't know what it is. And then he becomes the next one. Yeah, and this is 8 pages. As you can see, I laid it out. I want to come to finish to this video, but I would say trust that you can write your story, that you can draw it, work it. Like these layouts that you're seeing here, I made a lot of these layouts. Like you can see how basic they are. Like they're really. And then some poses I took from movies, some poses I took from other things. And yeah, this I guess I took from Metal Gear, and stitch it together. And like other people do it the same, even the masters, like they are inspired by their heroes and make it your own. Yeah, and this goes on and on, like it doesn't go on and on, but as you can see, I worked a couple of these pages. And trust that you can write a story. Like this is Western meets horror. I wanted to do 8 pages. This is my own story. Can't get a girlfriend, meets a pickup artist on the streets, and then somehow tells how he can get a girlfriend. This guy, when I sent him, this guy is real. When I sent him the comic, he said, it's a very cheesy scene that you wrote here, but it's very touching because it rings true, and it is true because this was me. This happened really to me. This scene defined my life, where a buddy of mine told me, man, you can either stay a pussy for the rest of your life, or you can decide to be a hero. And then I stood up and became a hero 10 years ago. It wasn't all that, how can I say, it was a bumpy ride. But yeah, and you can also put in what you want, like whatever you want. You don't need to draw stuff you don't want to draw. And if you want to put in Donald Trump as John Connor, you can do that too. Like there is no how do you say, no boundaries. And this was my first webcomic. On the web it looks a bit better. Like look how shitty I started out. Maybe I didn't come much further, but I love barbarians, and I love orcs, and I love Planet of the Apes. Is this good storytelling? I don't know. Like this guy's hiding, he's getting out of the cave, the orc has found him, he screams. the snow crumbles and he gets blood on his face. And then we find marines, apes. Oh boy, we don't have space-time for this. We have a scene from the Wrath of Khan, from Star Wars or Star Trek. Yeah, and then we have a scene where these dudes talk about lasagna and pina colada and how cool it was and how bad his divorce was. Like, there is no limit. And you can put in female killers who are on the hunt for barbarians. Yeah, take your time and just do it. You will get better. Sometimes you start out shitty. If you need help or if I can help you, I will start a Facebook group, and on that Facebook group we can then, well, I can help or we can help each other. So, have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make your own stories. I will link the books down below. They're really great. You might not need them, but they're good. And yeah, see you till next time.